I'm sorry. We get tied up with James, who's got a new computer today, who hasn't installed the GoToMeetings software yet, so he's going to be a little bit longer. So we don't need to hold up for him. We're going to get started without him. Alex says hello to everybody, and he will answer your questions until James is with us. And as you know, today is a live trading class. We never know exactly what we're going to trade until we take a look at the markets. And today we have a lot of people that aren't part of our class that are with us because we've opened up this live trading to all of our clients and all of our potential clients so that they can learn how to trade on iOptions and actually enjoy us doing a trade. So for today's course only, we are not going to be doing any guaranteed trades. So actually, we will be doing one for the students. From the original course, we will be guaranteeing your trades at $10. Okay. So we're going to start taking a look at a couple things online and go back to figure out what trade we'll make today. Again, my name is Barry. If you have any questions, please just type them in your window. Alex and James will answer them. If they can't, they're going to bring them over to me. And if they think it's something to share with the class, we will share it with the class. And we do encourage group participation. If you have recommendations, if you don't understand something, just type it in. We're here to help. Okay. We're going to go over and first try to figure out what would be a good trade today. I do that first, and what I recommend everybody to do is to first go look at your economic calendar. Now, there's one available on the iOptions website. It's on the screen in front of you. And as I explained in class to everyone, that the calendar is a great tool because you don't have to know all the reports that are coming out. It tells you what's coming out, when it's coming out, what it would mean to the market. And like on today's calendar, you can see the reports that already came out. Now this morning, something very interesting happened, and I'm going to circle it for you. And you can read all about it today if you like. Let's get my drawing tool out here. Was the RBA, which is the Royal Bank of Australia. I want to circle the whole thing. Okay, we'll highlight it. Came out today with their interest statement. Now, their current interest rate is 4.25%. Now, we would have known that if we would have used the calendar. If you click on the details of the calendar, it will open and tell you something about the program, about the report that's coming out. Now, if you had been following the Australian dollar, you would have known that this report was coming out. The previous was a 4.25. The projected was that the RBA was going to drop their prime interest rate to 4.0%. Now, they had dropped their interest rate twice since in 2011, the last 2 quarters, by 1/4 of a point. The markets were betting that they would drop it again this quarter. So what was factored already into the market today was that the interest rates would drop. So it wasn't really going to make any great effect on the Australian dollar trade. Okay. But what happened that surprised the markets is that when the RBA came out today, they decided to hold interest rates to make no change. Well, that affected everybody because that wasn't factored into the market. Now, you ask, how do I know that? How can you find that out? How can you trade that to your advantage? Okay. See where it says under actual 4.25%? Well, that was the result of what happened today. They maintained a 4.25. You say, well, I'm just a little housewife in Sydney, or I'm just a businessman in South Africa, or I'm just a student in Germany. How do I have access to this data? Okay, this is what's important, making a live trade and making profit. This calendar and almost all the economic calendars out there give you the same information exactly when the statement is released that the big institutional traders get, that everybody gets. And what would happen is, right at 3:30, this is GMT time, but at 3:30 this morning, you would have seen a little circle here going round and round and round. And and as it came time to be released, it would have popped up on your screen. So a good trader would have been watching that, or somebody who trades, not a good trader, but any trader, a novice that was trading the Australian dollar would have been watching that. And the minute it came up that it was above or below forecast, that has a direct effect on the markets. So what happened was, let's click over and take a look at what happened to the Australian dollar when that occurred today. So we're going to go over real quickly to Forex Pros, which is a very good site for getting data. They supply very, very good data. And let's pull up and take a look at the Australian dollar against the US dollar. And let's take a look at what happened this morning. Well, it's loading the chart. It'll take a second. There we go. So what happened this morning was the Reserve Bank of Australia keeps the rate. Look at the surge, or how many pips were picked up. The Australian dollar went from a low this morning, or an open this morning of 107, and it hit 108.22. Okay, well that doesn't sound like much. That's a penny. But if you were trading Forex and you were buying $100,000 worth, that's 100,000 pennies, or you would have made $1,000 in a matter of minutes. But the advantage of trading on options or binary options, your profit isn't depending on the movement. Your profit is just if you're in the money. So on the Australian dollar, if you would have traded the Australian dollar this morning just to go up, or what's better known as a call, let's bring it up here, it's paying 75%. So if you would have spent $100 this morning and taken a call, you would have got the payout of $75 or $175. Now, what we're looking at in front of us is the chart for what you have to remember about trading binary options. Binary options, you're trading a very small segment at a time. Even if you've done all of your charting and all of your analysis ahead of time, you can't tell precisely what's going to happen in a 15-minute period. But in binary options, especially using fundamental analysis and trading against or with news that comes out, and in erratic markets, you can tell that, okay, the RBA came out and the market's going to go up. That's going to force the US dollar to be stronger because interest rates are going to remain high in Australia, or you might have determined that interest rates staying high with the US interest rates being low, people would have been moving their funds to Australia. You would have done your analysis. So in that 15-minute segment, right after that report came out, what happens is the markets react, and they react drastically. They're reactionary. They react to above and below forecast numbers. And they will overreact. And what will happen is the markets will either be driven up to a pinnacle or down to a very low valley, and then they'll recover. Now, they're not going to come back to where they were, but you can always trade up or down in that 15-minute segment after a report that's above and below forecast, because you're going to trade as the markets go down. You'll trade it going down, so you'll put in a call. And when it hits fairly close to the bottom, you know it's going to surge back up. Even if it's the people that are selling to take profit, you can take a call back up. And you do this in very, very quick, small increments, very quickly. And you can usually get 2 good trades out of an economic report if it is below or above forecast. News does the same thing, but it has to be global news. But the thing with news is you don't know how fast it's coming out, and you also don't know if you're hearing it right when the markets are hearing it. With economic data, you're getting it at the same time everybody else does. And you also don't know with news who it's affecting. So, for instance, when Angela Merkel says something about Greece, the Prime Minister says something contrary about Greece, and the ECB says something else, you don't know necessarily in what order they were said or which way the markets have reacted. So it's important to keep that in mind when you're trading news. Okay. So these are just things that we want to look at real quickly when learning to trade or trading binary options. Because you have to remember that trading binary options is trading small segments of time, and you just have to trade in your favor. You don't care how high it goes or how low it goes, as long as it ends up above or below the point you had designated, or the strike price when you place your call or your put position, or your call position or your put position. Okay. So today I thought we might look at gold. I've got gold up on the screen in front of us. What do you think has been driving the price of gold? Now, we've all been watching gold in the markets for the last couple of weeks. It's been on the news. Gold surged all the way up to the I think it hit 1740s this week. Now it's down to 1718. Is there a reason that gold is falling? Well, we are right now on Forex Pro's charts. And the nice thing about Forex Pros is they provide very, very nice fundamental charts. This line chart, you see where I'm pointing at the eye? If you click on it, it's going to tell you why it's there. There's an article that says, and you can click on the blue highlighted the hyperlink and go to the article, but it's telling you Asian stocks mixed to lower on Greece worries. So that's what happened at that moment, an article that came out at that moment. It tells you gold futures rebound as Greek debt talks remain in. Okay. Then we come down to EASE, and EASE are economic reports that are due out. So this is the chairman of the Swiss National Bank is due to make a statement. Nobody's paying much attention to Swiss National Bank this night because they've guaranteed to intervene if the euro Swissy goes down below 120. They're a small economy. They're not doing so well. They're surviving. So we might see some movement today on the Swissy. It's the Swiss franc when he makes his address. But can anybody tell me why they think gold has been falling over the last week? Now remember, gold is way high for the year. Gold is way high for the last 2 years. Gold started out this year in the 1600s, so it's huge profits. But why it's now dropping from its high point? Can somebody write that in the screen what they think? And Joyce, you told me about the BOC speaking in Canada on housing reports. Can you tell me what, if it came out, what the forecast was and what came out with the BOC? Because it is possible we might jump over and look at the Canadian dollar or US dollar. The thing about it is Canadian dollar doesn't move that erratically against the US dollar. But we can take a look over there. We can look at the economic calendar real quickly, Joyce, and see when that's due out. At 1:30 GMT time, which is in 9 minutes. So we're getting ready for it to come out. Let's see what happens. They're expecting hold on, let me close this window because I can't see what's happening. Let's see, we have the housing report coming out, and I don't show anything on Bank of Canada speaking now. Can you tell me what they're saying, Joyce? And Joyce, are you in Canada? I'll wait for Joyce to type in an answer to us here. Oh, Joyce said gold has got up because the problems in Europe and also oil issues. That's why it went up, but why is it coming down? Why do we see gold steadily falling today and yesterday? Okay, let's go back to the chart and take a look again. Okay, the red line across the chart tells you what price gold opened at this morning. The blue line, of course, is where gold has been trading for the day. Okay, and like I told you, these are the peaks and the valleys. Gold is down at 1717. It opened this morning at 1722. It's lost $7 and change. Okay. Does anybody know why? Okay. Gold is considered a safe haven. And gold trades for two reasons. One is use, consumption. Consumption is down. The Indians are like the #1 in the world gold consumers, and of course their economy has not been doing well. So